Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well today, and welcome to my top 10 upcoming survival games video for 2024. I do one of these every 6 months or so to keep you all up to date on the development of some of the top titles in the genre, because we could all use a couple of extra games to add to our wish list, right? Anyway, if it's not too much to ask, a like on this video goes a long way, but only do so if you feel like I've earned it. And I do all kinds of survival game content, so you could consider subscribing if you like what you see here. Alright, enough of that standard YouTube jazz, let's get started, but one more thing before we do. If you find yourself looking at a game that you know you're not going to enjoy, just check the description. There's going to be timestamps for all of the games I'm going over. You can just skip on to the next one, and I wouldn't blame you a bit. Alright, let's begin.
I have a dream. It starts in the desert. You cling to life.
Here we go. First up, and number 10 on my list, is Dune Awakening. I would probably have this ranked higher, it's just we don't really know enough about it or have enough gameplay footage to look at just yet for me to really rank it any higher than this. So Dune Awakening is an exciting new MMO developed by Funcom, who are best known for creating Conan Exiles, so perhaps that gives us a clue as to what Dune will look like. Announced at Gamescom last year, this open-world survival MMO is set on the unforgiving desert planet of Arrakis. Man, Arrakis is such a cool name. Which is the setting of the fiction novels by Frank Herbert and the blockbuster films that are based on them. But in a recent interview with creative director Joel Bylos, it was revealed that the game will have an alt history approach, which will, quote, give players more of a role to shape the world. The development focus has been on bringing the Dune universe to life, capturing the essence of living on Arrakis. The game delves into experiences like managing water, or what they call water discipline, the awe of sandworm encounters, and the thrill of harvesting spice. The developers hope to build on the survival crafting mechanics seen in Conan Exiles, with an emphasis on complex sandbox mechanics, including vehicle physics simulations, shooting mechanics, and seamless multiplayer functionality, where you can potentially encounter hundreds of individual players as they explore the world. There are caves and gorges to explore, curious rock formations, and vegetation which clings to survival in the shadows, and the open world features of the game include an expansive environment with Coriolis storms periodically altering the landscape beyond what they call the safe zone, known as the shield wall. This dynamic shift introduces what they're calling infinite exploration, prompting players to compete for valuable resources and points of interest revealed by the storm. So basically there's gonna be like shifting sands that can move around and reveal POIs that have been hidden otherwise. And the game is said to feature a lot of base building and a huge range of architectural styles. There's gonna be a progression system, what they're calling like a skill and imprint system, which will enable players to sort of customize their characters and into various directions, allowing for flexible playstyles and maybe complementary playstyles in a multiplayer group. So speaking of that, players can explore the world alone or together with their friends and forming up groups or guilds to take on dungeons and harvest spice together. Just remember, in the world of Dune, those who control the spice ultimately control Arrakis. While the official release date has yet to be revealed, alpha playtesting is set to begin very soon, and Funcom is already asking for signups to the beta. According to Rock Paper Shotgun, we should expect early access in 2024 on PC, with eventual release onto the latest generation of consoles. Coming in at number 9, we have Road to Vostok, which is perhaps the most hardcore and realistic survival experience on this list. Taking place on the border between Finland and Russia, this game boasts realistic weapon mechanics, advanced survival systems, and a complex simulation of medical conditions. As you explore the game's environment, you'll be on the lookout for survival essentials for crafting components such as weapons, tools, consumables, medical supplies, military gear, electronics, and so on. You know the drill, survival game stuff. But if you can't find what you need, you can visit the in-game traders, where you can buy, sell, trade, and even pay for services such as healing or weapon maintenance, or even accept trader quests. The whole world map is made up of individual maps, which are based on real-world locations. Each map is connected and will have sort of various difficulty ratings, getting more difficult as you're moving east on the road to Vostok. See what they did there? So based on this description, I'm getting a sense that it's kind of like Stalker. You have a map, but then there's going to be like a gateway to another map, and you'll sort of transition through the whole world in chunks like that. But reportedly, the world should feel pretty alive with the addition of weather such as thunderstorms. There will be crash sites, airdrops, and ambushes, which will provide you with a constantly changing challenge. And so along the way, there are going to be like these safe havens and shelters Varying in size and customizability, they're the only way for you to save your game. So if you cross the border zone using what they're calling your crossing points and you enter into Vostok, then you'll find yourself in a sort of permadeath zone where death means losing everything, like even just deleting your whole save file. So definitely sounding pretty hardcore. We'll have to see what the progression feels like. Is this something I'm going to invest 100 hours in and then all of a sudden lose my character to like a landmine, or is it more of like a pick up and play type of experience? So in the wake of the recent drama surrounding Unity, which is the subject of numerous other videos, so I'm not going to go down that road, the solo developer of Road to Vostok is now porting his game over to a new engine called Godot. As one of the most transparent devs that's on this list, you can actually follow along with the development progress on the Road to Vostok YouTube channel, where he does dev vlogs, which are really fun to watch, and you can learn more about the future roadmap. But long story short, there's currently a playable demo on Steam, with an early access release coming theoretically at least in 2024. As we look at the roadmap here, there's going to be public demo number 2, which is going to be probably the Godot version, and then after that, it's early access. So I, for one, am actually really excited. I don't know if I've ever seen another game on the Godot engine, so I'm keeping an eye on this one. At number 8, we have Derelicts, which has to be one of the most ambitious solo developer projects I've ever seen, as you embark on an intense survival journey after a catastrophic space shuttle crash leaves you and your friends, if you have any, stranded on Earth. Looks like I'll be going this one alone. Built on Unreal Engine 5 and set in the aftermath of a mysterious apocalypse, your mission is to rebuild from the ground up. Explore the hostile environment, construct a fortified base, and defend it against the threat of mutated animals and surviving humans. Uncover the roots of a mysterious defense mechanism that unleashed a wave of radiation, compelling the privileged remnants of humanity to seek refuge on space stations, which apparently includes you, since you came from a space station in a space shuttle. This game's looking really great. I've been following this one for a couple of years now. You'll chop down trees, scavenge metals, amass resources for constructing and securing a welcoming base, essentially for shielding yourself against the ever-evolving dangers of like mutated wildlife, weather, or just satisfying that industrious nature that many of us have. The big calling card for Derelicts, the thing that's going to set it apart from other survival games, according to the developer in a recent interview that he did, is going to be the ability to harness natural elements like wind, sun, and water. So you can use these things to generate electricity, you can build up water wheels, you can make log flumes to move logs down into like a sawmill. You just have to be cautious because the dynamic weather system can kind of impact how these things work. You'll also be able to explore a handcrafted map as opposed to procedurally generated, where you'll uncover new recipes for crafting tools and components crucial for advancing your progress. And eventually you'll sort of venture out and find this ancient and enigmatic mechanism that saturated the Earth with radiation, shaping a landscape that is now fraught with these challenges. But you won't have to do it alone. You can forge companionship with a loyal dog to stand by your side in this survival ordeal, providing both companionship and assisting in your battles. So the initial early access release target for Derelicts is in 2024, according to the Patreon page, but it could take as long as 6 years for full development, according to the FAQ on the official website. And I think it started out development in 2019, so we're about 4 years into it now. It will be a PC exclusive at the start, but an effort is being made to bring this to Steam Deck, PS5, and Xbox after initial release, as well as the implementation of VR functionality. The dev is also considering releasing a public demo, so let him know in the comments section if this is something you'd like to see. Number 7, Rooted, is an apocalyptic survival game set in the tumultuous aftermath of global bacteriological warfare around the year 2100. So in a way, this is like a post-apocalypse type of game. After 60 years of war, plus 20 years since most humans just disappeared, to the naked eye, Rooted looks similar to The Day Before, which is mired in controversy, subject of another video, but there's been a ton of transparency, communication, gameplay footage provided by the devs, so I have a lot more confidence in Rooted. As one of the few survivors remaining, you'll navigate through the remnants of the collapsed civilization, adapting and progressing through a world that has been reshaped by nature's gradual reclamation. We got a taste of this kind of a world from The Last of Us, both the game and the recent HBO series, and I found this to be a really compelling setting in those titles, so I'm looking forward to how it feels in this game. Certain areas are now deemed safe, and they offer a glimpse of hope as nature seems to be cleansing the residue of this devastating bacterial weapon. However, urban landscapes remain very much dangerous, demanding caution and protective measures before going into them. Rooted is a dynamic living world, evolving in response to your actions. From the serene forest to the bustling city downtown areas, explore the vast world that unfolds as you progress. You can unlock new areas, new items, crafting options over time, while major events bring fresh challenges. Venture alone, or you can collaborate with your friends in co-op to collect scraps, salvage objects, restore items, and craft new tools that are essential for your survival. You can utilize items you scavenge and craft to enhance your camp, fortify defenses, automate tasks, supply electricity, and develop your workshop. Salvaging plays a pivotal role in Rooted. We talked about calling cards earlier. This is the calling card for Rooted. This will allow you to recover, repair, and repurpose items from the past civilization. So basically you take them apart, you learn about them, and then you can remake them later on. You can encounter not only the hazards of the environment, but also other humans that are out there, which are probably the most dangerous thing out there. There's also wild animals, of course, and robots, which I think is a relatively new addition. And each of these have their own unique characteristics and challenges. Rooted will reportedly be a PC exclusive as far as I can tell at the start, but there is reportedly some potential for console distribution in the future. Rooted has recently undergone alpha playtesting with a closed beta expected in 2024 before then being released into early access possibly as soon as March, at least according to their most recent timeline on their Kickstarter page. This estimate might be a little bit optimistic though, so stay tuned for more updates. Have you ever heard of a game called Dead Matter? It was a very highly anticipated 5 million plus crowd-funded post-apocalyptic open world survival game that was supposed to redefine the genre, but ended up being probably the bust of the year. Anyway, well, it turns out that the studio that was making that game kind of like collapsed toward the end of the project from within, and reportedly some of the talent that was working on it moved on to Ramjet Studios, which is now working on Vane. This game really scratches the itch of face-to-face zombie combat, base building, looting, and crafting of the 7 Days to Die game with the incredible variety, customizability, and complexity of Project Zomboid. So in this game, players must gather essential supplies for survival, explore abandoned buildings, engage in combat with bandits, of all things. You'll have to defend your homes and collaborate with friends to rebuild society. Basically standard survival game type of stuff, right? Post-apocalyptic, zombie survival apocalypse stuff, all the same. But the dynamic environment of Vane evolves over time with persistent, long-scale random events that are affecting gameplay, ensuring a constantly changing and challenging experience. So think like the helicopter event in Project Zomboid, baby. The game does feature intelligent AI that can see, hear, feel, and smell, reacting intelligently to a player's actions. Zombie variants heighten the difficulty of survival, keeping players on edge. For example, an armored policeman who actually once dispatched can be looted for the body armor, the gear, whatever you see him wearing, you'd be able to take from his corpse eventually. Corpse. You gotta be careful what words you use on YouTube these days. I don't know if I might have to bleep that one out. We'll roll with it, okay? So the customization aspect allows players to really customize their characters extensively, from your appearance to your background, like your skill set, your job before the apocalypse happened, all that stuff. A lot like Project Zomboid, really. And this ensures a unique identity among survivors. Vane's interactive world will allow players to engage with almost anything that you see, from opening mailboxes to adjusting faucets to knocking on doors. The fortification element lets players build over the destroyed world, establishing safe houses to defend against raiders and invasions. Long-term survivalism is a key component, requiring players to hunt, fish, trap, till land, and grow their own food. The need for self-sufficiency becomes apparent as canned food starts to run out, and players must rely on their skills to survive. The inclusion of vehicles adds a lot of mobility to the game, allowing players to explore the world in cars and trucks. Maintenance, refueling, and upgrades are essential though for keeping the vehicles operational. Currently offered for free, Vane encourages player feedback to improve the game. Updates are planned every few weeks for now, but with a slower update schedule once the game transitions into like a full release or a paid model. The development approach prioritizes gameplay over graphics. Did someone say Valheim? With an iterative design that involves constant community feedback, making Vane a collaborative effort between developers and players. In other words, not 7 Days to Die. The emphasis is on a gameplay-first strategy, meaning quick delivery of fun content with the flexibility to cut or modify features based on community response. And what sets Vane apart is its commitment to gameplay, allowing players to use every item at their disposal creatively, whether that means throwing broccoli to try to kill a zombie with it, or throwing vinyl records, or even tin cans, or even manipulating the environment by shutting off power. The possibilities are quite vast and ever expanding as well, providing a unique and challenging and engaging gameplay experience. Perhaps my favorite feature that I've heard of by watching the dev vlogs over on the Vane YouTube channel is the fact that your stomach can explode in Vane. That's right, if you eat too much food, you'll just pop and die. I don't have a solid release date for you right now, but technically the game is already out. The free demo is waiting for you to try, but don't be put off by the word demo. It really is the full game, and it'll be available right up until the full release is ready, and I really enjoyed it myself, so I think you should give it a try. 5 down, 5 to go, and coming in at number 5 is Renown. And the best way for me to describe Renown is Rust meets Bannerlord meets Chivalry or Mordhau meets Kingdom Come Deliverance in Unreal Engine 5. Renown will be a multiplayer survival adventure set in a vast and ever-changing medieval world. You'll begin your journey with nothing, gather resources, strategically build your kingdom as you fight for survival with the ultimate goal of achieving renown across the land. Oh, I see what they did there. Renown is not just another open world survival crafting game though. It combines the most enjoyable elements from contemporary titles, including building, progression, and social politics. And at its core, Renown stands out as a first-person medieval fighting game, emphasizing competitive skill-based combat. Their description of it is, quote, easy to learn, hard to master, which sounds right up my alley, and you'll be able to choose your path from building humble farms to colossal fortresses. The game introduces a unique focus on horses, carts, and cavalry warfare, providing an additional layer of strategic depth to the intense gameplay. Engage in strategic group dynamics, they say. And to me, this is what I find most unique and most interesting about the game. You'll be able to form kind of like clans or guilds with systems in place for making claims, acquiring titles, assigning ranks, and more. The game also features server progression and wipe systems, ensuring an engaging and vastly replayable experience. Community hosts will have access to tailor their servers with customizable tools, enhancing the overall gameplay experience. Renown is an evolving adventure with plans for extensive modability, allowing players to shape the game according to their preferences. Currently, you can pre-order the game for $45 US, which is pretty pricey, but you do get access to the alpha testing period. Release is expected in Q1 2024, according to their Steam page, and it looks like they're making good progress toward an upcoming beta, according to their roadmap. The game will initially be in early access with additional features planned for the 1.0 release, including Steam Workshop support and a questing system. I love the combat complexity in games like Chivalry, so having a game like this with some extra building and crafting and questing and looting mixed in sounds like an experience that's too good for me to miss.
I was attacked while on a job. I got hit in the head, and when I woke up, I was in almost nothing but my birthday suit.
All right, we're getting into the juicy ones now. Coming in at number 4 is S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2: Heart of Chernobyl. From the Ukrainian developer team that brought us the acclaimed S.T.A.L.K.E.R series comes the highly anticipated and often delayed, understandably so, sequel to their franchise. So we're going back to Chernobyl following a second massive explosion. A perilous landscape has emerged, characterized by violent mutants, deadly anomalies, and warring factions, rendering the zone an unforgiving place to survive. Yet the allure of invaluable artifacts beckons a courageous group known as the Stalkers, individuals willing to risk everything to amass a fortune or unearth the concealed truth within the heart of Chernobyl. So you'll embark on this epic non-linear journey within a seamless open world spanning 64 post-apocalyptic radioactive square kilometers, assuming the role of a lone stalker trying to carve out your own destiny in the world. You'll engage in ferocious gunfights, something that made the old Stalker games feel like next level games, all the while navigating the delicate political landscape that has emerged in the wake of this apocalypse. There will also be legendary mutants, which will exhibit diverse behavior models, each possessing unpredictable traits and appearing in different subtypes, with layers housing numerous mutants and even some hunting in large groups. Advanced artificial intelligence systems keep players engaged, while a life simulating system they call, quote, A Life 2.0, brings the game world to life like never before. Survival mechanics, including hunger, sleeping, bleeding, and radiation effects, enrich the gameplay, and a dynamic day-night cycle and weather contribute to a realistic gaming experience. I recently listened to an interview which was done at Gamescom, and the person being interviewed had gone into the demo booth and just played the game for a few minutes, and according to him, the game has a very steep learning curve. It's very kind of like difficult to get into. You'll have to have some experience in the old Stalker games to really know what you're doing and to jump in and hit the ground running, so to speak. He said that the gameplay needed a little bit more polish at the time, but that the AI was really good and the gunplay was really good as well, and it was definitely a big challenge for him right out of the gate. So it's the legendary Stalker universe that many of us have come to know and love through previous titles, which blends unique gameplay, RPG elements, FPS elements, horror, and immersive simulation along with survival elements. It's a lot, it's a big package all packed into one. But now it's going to be with contemporary benchmark setting graphics developed using cutting edge technologies on Unreal Engine 5. And of course there will be mod support providing creative freedom to players, and a multiplayer mode is slated for a free update soon after release. Speaking of release, this one is set for Q1 2024 on PC and Xbox.
I am blind, but it is you who cannot see.
Alright, it all comes down to the top 3. Next up is Under a Rock, which is set in a thrilling 19th century expedition to a captivating, procedurally generated open world that immerses players in a vibrant, colorful, and mysterious island populated by exotic creatures, colossal wildlife, and enigmatic natives. As an explorer marooned in this world with its distinctive evolutionary path, we'll say, players will traverse caves, underwater, and an expansive surface world filled with unique challenges and resources for you to gather. The game's procedurally generated world ensures a distinct experience with each playthrough, and players will engage in a multitude of activities such as crafting, building, harvesting, farming, fishing, and combat. The choice between leading a peaceful life by the ocean or antagonizing the island's inhabitants is entirely at your discretion. The extensive base building mechanics provide you with a tropical-themed outlet for your creativity, enabling players to construct anything from their dream home to intricate villages. There are 2 build modes. Default is for placing items directly, or there's Ghost mode, which can allow you to plan out your base ahead of time without the necessary resources. You can even color code your ghost structures, which I think is a really nice touch. The ghost building goes a step further in that if your base is destroyed, the ghost blueprint will remain, so you can just easily put the resources back in and rebuild your base exactly the way it was. Players can interact with and utilize the diverse wildlife through activities such as taming, breeding, and riding creatures, each possessing unique abilities. Additionally, players could experiment with their culinary skills with these creatures. A robust character customization system offers a wide range of options for creating a unique look, and survival in Under a Rock entails contending with diverse weather conditions, navigating through poisonous plants and creatures, avoiding traps that are scattered across the island, and enduring dangerous nights with unpredictable AI behavior. All the while, hunger and dehydration are elements in the game. They're just not the central focus. Maintaining health and hydration levels, however, provides a beneficial bonus, so it's sounding a bit like Valheim or Icarus to me in that regard. A well-made and decorated base will confer various resting and comfort bonuses, each offering various advantages depending on the circumstances. Multiplayer options cater to different playstyles, supporting up to 10 players in co-op, with optional PvP interactions. But you can enjoy the game solo if you'd like. The game will be released on PC into early access, which is expected to last approximately 1 year, and there are plans to bring this to PS5 and Xbox consoles in the future. It's being developed by the Nordic Trolls, which is a small indie game studio comprising of 5 individuals, and they're using Unreal Engine 5 for this. One more thing. This game is currently number 131 on the list of most wishlisted games on Steam. By the way, you can find the Steam page link to this game and all the other games in the description down below. But this game looks really good, am I right? And I've been following this game for a year or two now. So can we show these guys some love, please? Also, they post hilarious memes on X all the time, so check them out there, and you can follow me over there while you're at it.
The Feywilds await.
Coming in at number 2, and I'm sure you've heard of this one by now as it's ranked number 11 on the most wishlisted games list, but Nightingale stands out as one of the most unique titles yet. The backstory is deep, rich, and complex, but I'll give you a brief rundown right here. It's set in an alternate timeline in the 19th century where humans on Earth have made contact with a mystical species known as the Fae through a transdimensional portal network which has recently collapsed. Realm walkers everywhere find themselves stranded, scattered across the stars, and it's up to you to become one. Navigate your way back to the magical city of Nightingale, solve the mysteries that led to the destruction of the arcane network, and restore balance to the realms. No pressure. This PvE open world survival crafting game is designed for solo play or cooperative exploration with friends as you navigate through portals into other realms to gather unique resources and materials that you'll need to survive and progress. To open these portals, you'll need to craft realm cards. This is the unique calling card, get it? And no pun intended there, by the way. But by presenting specific cards to the portal, you'll then select like a biome, the fauna, other characteristics, difficulty, day-night cycle, whatever the case may be. Whatever characteristics of the world you want will be represented by cards. You place the cards in the portal and the portal will randomly generate you a whole new realm based on those cards. So you'll be able to navigate Feywild forests, harrowing swamps, and shimmering deserts, unlocking portals that lead deeper into the enchanting lands of the Fey. To persevere in the face of adversity, players must do standard survival game stuff, such as cooking meals, building shelters, creating tools, harvesting resources, and discovering new schematics to craft essential equipment and weapons. You can even enhance your gear with magical properties using specialized ingredients and arcane technologies. And the building system is also robust, as players can select between various thematic sets to build up their estate. So you have like a sort of like an African theme and maybe like an Asian theme. NPC workers can even be recruited out in the world to expand your homestead, automate production, and assist in resource gathering. And it looks like the devs are really leaning into trying to create this immersive, expansive, inter-realm world experience in a sort of Gaslamp fantasy style, where you can explore the abandoned remnants of past Realmwalker expeditions, or maybe investigate mysterious Fey architecture, or you can delve into shadowy, dark subterranean caves and scout out derelict ruins as beauty and danger basically await you through every portal. Nightingale has seen several alpha playtests at this point, and also several delays as well. I've had the pleasure of participating in the closed testing, and while I can't reveal anything specific about it, it's still number 2 on my list, so yeah. I'm really looking forward to this one, and so its release is scheduled now for February 22nd, 2024 as an early access title on PC. I will see you in the realms.
Think but this, and all is mended.
Okay, my friends, we made it. We're finally here. Number 1 on my list is Enshrouded. And by the way, if you made it this far, you owe me that like I was talking about before. All right, anyway, you might have already played this actually. It was probably the most popular demo during Steam's most recent Next Fest, and people everywhere are clamoring to get their hands on the full release. Embervale. A once thriving realm now lies lost, consumed by a pestilence known as the Shroud, which was unleashed by your ancestors in their insatiable quest for magical power. Enshrouded emerges as a compelling game that seamlessly blends survival, crafting, and action RPG combat set against the backdrop of a sprawling voxel-based continent where all terrain and structures are destructible, and man, is it fun. The narrative unfolds as you tap into the ancient power of the Flame, attempting to piece together the fragments of a hidden story. Amidst the ruined remnants of a lost kingdom, you'll scavenge for resources and fend off relentless foes. The journey takes you through diverse landscapes. There'll be forests, caves, dungeons, where hidden knowledge and treasure await, building your strength to confront the horrors of the deep within the Shroud. You'll engage in heart-pounding action combat and confront factions and formidable bosses. And by formidable, I mean gigantic and terrifying. You'll face the scavengers in the forest, the VUCA in the caves, and the fell creatures in the mist. And you can do so in 3 different ways. You can use brute force, stealth, or magic to exploit the weaknesses of your enemies and develop a unique playstyle through an in-depth skill tree system. The game also emphasizes creative expression through voxel-based building, allowing you to unleash your architectural vision on an epic scale. Construct grand structures with a vast assortment of materials and furniture, not only for yourself, but for the NPCs seeking refuge within your walls. Crafting is also a key aspect as you customize your legendary weapons and armor to withstand the relentless advance of the Shroud. Collaboration is encouraged with up to 16 player co-op gameplay, where friends can carve out unique roles and complementary skills to raid, gather treasure, and overcome the fell hordes that are ravaging the land. The game's rich lore unravels as you journey through the biomes of Embervale, immersing yourself in vibrant fallen cultures and ancient myths, from the mystical deserts of the Kindle Wastes to the dark canopies of Revelwood. Amidst the fog and beneath the ruins of a lost kingdom, an ever-unfolding story of magic, ruin, hope, and redemption awaits discovery. The lore is really deep, like all the names that they're giving everything, it really gives me the Elder Scrolls vibes, like I'm back in Morrowind and I'm learning about all these, ancient things through books that I'm finding in caves and such. Yeah, it's been a long time since I enjoyed a game as much as I did Enshrouded, and it was only the demo too. So if you're looking for some first-hand gameplay and impressions and to learn more about this game, check out the video that's pinned at the top right here. This is my gameplay video for the demo. The first 5 minutes of my video will guide you through my first hour. So the first 5 minutes, very fast-paced, very brief overview of all the systems and such. I promise it's not a waste of your time. So the game, to me, it feels similar to Valheim. A lot of people draw comparisons between Enshrouded and Valheim, but if you ask me, and I have nothing against Valheim, I played it, I do enjoy it, but this Enshrouded is much more fast-paced. It not like an arcade mode, it just feels less grindy to me. It looks better, a lot better to me. The graphics are better, and I think a lot of people do agree with that and share that sentiment, whether it's on Reddit or it's on the Steam forums or whatnot. So I'm really expecting this one to be perhaps at least as popular as Valheim. That's really saying something, because Valheim was and is an award-winning title with over 10 million copies sold, but I think that Enshrouded has at least the same potential, if not more. All right, what I don't have though for you is a specific release date, but the developer's website cites a release date of 2023 on Steam, with console releases later on. So I do fully expect this one to be released in 2024 at the latest.
Call upon your allies, and together take back your realm.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the end of the video. I was just looking at some stats here. It looks like about 20%, only 20% of people actually make it this far towards the end of a video. So that makes you either stubborn, totally awesome, or most likely probably asleep. Anyway, to show my appreciation, I'll put some videos and playlists over here that I've selected that I think you'll enjoy. You might like them, you might not. Sometimes you gotta take some chances in life, right? Well, anyway, I hope I did earn that like on this video from you, and I hope at some point I'll earn your subscription as well if I haven't already. But alas, I've got to get some rest. I've been spending a ton of time on this video, so I will see you hopefully in the next one.